Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video, 365 Trading Academy supply and demand video on Euro Swiss franc. That's the pair I'm mining through right now. My last video that you would have seen was probably on gold. Please note, I've done about 9 to 10 assets in this exact same format, one pair, one video, as quickly as possible. I might forget to ask you to subscribe, so please do subscribe. I promise you this is content with having. Please hit the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. I'm uploading almost 2 to 3 times a day, getting us ready for May. Probably the second week of May, where we can start our weekly Sunday war rooms. But by then, we'll have a clean take on 109 charts, which is a lot of money to make between now up until the end of the year. All right, so hope you're learning something from this. The comments, keep them coming through. I'm reading all of them and I am responding. So I truly appreciate all of you, right? So, and by the way, Academy doors are open. Very important to let you know. Please feel free to check down the link down below and register to learn supply and demand and get, all the 2023 perks that are coming through, right? So Euro Swiss franc, also disclaimer, I'm in this particular trade. This was like the first baby that broke me lot size. I just couldn't ignore it. I was looking at a scenario analysis at the time, right at the beginning of April after my 90-day, and it's going by quite well. But yeah, it's when I started looking at charts, right? So what I've been doing is simple. It's a long wave analysis, and maybe I should just use an unmarked chart. Long wave analysis on every single asset, so we can actually situate 2023 in a bigger trend, 2023 in a bigger trend. And you will notice that this is absolutely important for those of you who are learning to become swing traders, number one, but also many of you who are also, just learning how to trade this intraday trading. This has always been a sell profile asset. In front of us, I have a chart that goes back as far as 1995, with Euro Swiss being a sell profile asset, and that's pretty much all we need to know. To be on the right side of this trend, we literally need to be on the sell side, right? 12 months means every single candlestick represents 1 year, and this is where we are right now. Now, what I know about anything with Swiss franc at the end, is you will get very long dramatic wicks every now and again. You're going to see them more clear on the monthly time frame, and most of the time these long wicks always have to get filled, right? So I would put it to you that 2023 will do nothing different than continuous selling. All right, and we are in an extended leg, right? It would be nice to get a pullback, right? So somewhere here, now that we've got a clean imbalance. But if price doesn't give us the pullback for continued sell-off for the next 2 years, 3 years, then you can just continue, right? So either we get a pullback to drop or a drop nonetheless, right? This is the 2023 candlesticks. Too early to tell how it's going to close, right? We're going to have to wait for December 31, December candlestick to close. We could have a green candle by then. Then if we do have a green candle by then, you will know that we are going for a pullback. A pullback would mean 2024 might see some relative strength in the euro, right? This is a really big picture, guys. This is like banks thinking 3 months, take profit in 1 year in a 10-year plan, right? So in the grand scheme of things, if we get a pullback approach, this is how far the pullback will go. We might get some institutional retracement areas somewhere here, maybe. Sure, look out for that when you drill down to lower time frames. But a good touch, a good take on price will be going back all the way to the supply that they've created. Clearly now, around 2018 when the dollar was strong. So if you look at USD ZAR, if you look at any of those dollar pairs we looked at earlier on, USD JPY, you notice that while prices, euros were creating supplies in 2018, the dollar pairs were creating demands, right? So if we're going through a reversal now of weak dollar, strong euro, then this makes a lot of sense. But we'll see how this candlestick closes. We'll see. We're still together for a while, right? So downtrend, 1 year supply. Again, by the way, if you're new, the purpose of these videos is to walk you through what I see as quickly as possible, which actually means about 20 minutes. Most of my videos on the channel are 3 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes. So I promise you that's an incredible improvement, right? So on the presidential chart here, we've got a PCP, formation of a PCP. PCP generally is counter trend. Euro Swiss franc love a moment in price where it can resume alignment, sequence alignment, or basically trade with the trend, right? You can call these flags. That's also fine. You can see here, strong bullish flag, price continues to the upside. And flag, let me tighten this trend line for you. Or remove it. Let's remove it, but I'm pretty sure it was drawn on the daily time frame. That's why it looks a bit weird here. Right, here's a counter trend, to the upside. There we go. And you can see that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 candlesticks. Each candlestick is 3 months, so that's 1 year. One from, I guess, January. This red candlestick here is the beginning of 2020, COVID, right? Throughout the whole of 2021, all the way back to January 2021, price was up. January to January, a year of counter trend, right? Price started to drop like crazy all the way here. January 2021, then we see here April 2021. Remember, we're moving in 3 months in financial quarters, and markets have been dropping ever since then, right? Right, so we are about to create a new counter trend. Again, how long can that last? Well, there's a 3 sticks, which means up to a year. So we're going to have to we need more information from lower time frames, right? But these flags, when these flags get created and they are completed and markets break out, markets run. When these flags get created and they are completed and markets break out, markets run for a long while. Once again, for the swing to positional trader who understands that there's always money on the table, right? And is not emotionally married to their money, you will realize that, geez, holding on to price sometimes is a good idea. I would have some of these blocks, some of these flags or trend lines or whatever you want to call them are plotted on your charts, and just as a constant reminder of what to look out for. Obviously, we trade supply and demand, so that's what we want to see, right? If we start to tighten, these flags that I've just drawn here, very, just for the eye to see and not necessarily as an accurate technicality, we can see on the governing time frame we have a sitting and existing supply area over here. I'm going to extend that zone there until I cover the bottom of the last flag on the monthly time frame, right? This self counter trend, 2 candlesticks going to the upside just to make contact with the beautiful supply and creating a new supply of itself. One could argue, and they would not be crazy to argue, I would sit down and listen to their argument that we still need something like this to happen, right? Something like, however it takes place, something that looks like this would be better for everyone. Why? Then would make a contact with the governing supply, which then allows to break structure. And by then you're going to get 2 types of traders in this lifetime. Or there are 3 types. Type number 1 we don't talk about in this channel. It's the type that does not know what to do, or the trading, using all sorts of strategies, indicators, right? That's not what I'm referring to. You're going to get 2 types that are going to only act here when a breakout is confirmed, or institutional supply and demand traders who know it's always better to sell high, which is here. And then you're going to get a hybrid of option 2, which is to sell high and to also look for good trades there. So that's literally the ballpark of 2023 on this pair. Either we break out now to the downside, which really sucks because it is better to buy up first. And given that Euro USD looks strong and Euro in general is drumming up, and if we continue getting a weakness in dollar, right, we might also get relative strength in the Swiss franc. It's really now an issue of time will tell, right? But this would have been much more attractive. Go up here and then we sell down there, right? But right now, we don't really have much to do or to talk about in terms of demands on the governing time frame. Don't get confused by these flags that we've just drawn. Don't forget right here, there is a governing demand. Pretty ugly one. Why? Because markets have based quite a lot on it and really taken their time to break out, which is also going to mean that this breakout in trend is going to have to suffocate and smoke out all these buys. And the last thing that you want to check, or not even check, I'm pretty sure it's obvious, you know, I just didn't point it out in the 12-month chart, is if prices to break this current demand that it's at, price will be making well, no, not really, right? So price will be continuing its journey to fill this week, right? Remember I said markets have to fill this week. Remember 2022 during the war rooms, I drew this line for you guys and I told you that price is going to come at 0.8361, right? So I don't have a single euro Swiss franc swing trade as far as I can remember from 2 years ago or for a year ago still running on my personal account. But on our floor trading accounts, no one, not a single one of my traders is going to close sales until we get all the way down here. And these are trades we've been holding for about 2 years or so, right? Until then, for the 4 positional main traders on the floor, this is never going to close because price has to fill this week. It always does. Price fills weeks. We don't know when, we don't know how, but we just want to cash in when it does, right? So big demand here at play, and one would then make the argument that on the governing time frame, demand is in control. When demand is in control in a counter long trend, counter long meaning the long-term perspective, or I don't mean long as in buy, I mean long as in 10-year cycle. The counter here is price is in a sell profile. I said price is in a sell trend, and this counter trend that started roughly in September 2022, we'll see where it is in September 2023. Right, it would make more sense really for price to finally just start to explode out of this demand, given the month of May, June, July, August, September, October, a couple of, you know, two or so financial quarters all the way to the supply here, so we can get the much more desired selling option, right? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm saying that's really what I want to see. I'm more excited as a seller, right? Even the small silly trade I opened at the beginning of April, I think I used a 0.2 lot size on a very small account, is really not a big deal, right? So I'm going to start to tighten up my flags now that I've finally arrived at the daily time frame. I just want to can actually now start to act as trend line channels, right? They could, they might, right, make this a little bit tighter. Then we shall see, right? So let's say, holistically speaking, this was on purpose. Let's say this is a build up of liquidity, right? And you want all this liquidity trapped to the upside, right? So you want to be careful when it's time to sell. This is the weekly time frame. Instead of drawing zone upon zone, I'm just going to assume you're paying attention, and I'm going to now narrow this down. This is clearly a weekly zone in the monthly zone. This is not changed. If you want, you can then have 2 sell options and say, Leroy, what if price decides to sell a little bit higher? You won't see me fighting with you, right? That will be option 1 there. And then if you are really praying for the higher sell, option 2, although sometimes price might not even bother giving you that, you'll find that banks are already sitting here and getting ready to sell first, right? Area of competition. If you don't understand these things, remember that I am just here to give you short-term analysis. I break all this stuff down in long, well-documented, accurate videos. Just click the link down below to register for module 1 and module 2 on this beautiful stuff. I'm going to slow down this monthly demand now, just to get clarity on the weekly time frame as well. And you can see that markets here again, now I'm starting to really believe that we're building liquidity than using our order blocks, right? We're building trends now. So really make it, right? Make it to the demand, right? Yeah, we can argue for area of competition and all that good stuff, but price doesn't really make it, really make it. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see by the time price comes here, right? So we shall see what happens here. We need to check out this week to see if there's hidden demands, and we're only going to know that there are hidden demands in there if we're looking frank on the daily time frame, right? So on the daily time frame, And looking left, we're sitting on that weekly zone that I just drew and tightened up a little bit. That weekly zone that gave out this little impulse to this trend line. Price came back in here. When price came back in here, it tapped something. Let's find the something. I switched over to Akini Hashi just to find the something, and it is a counter trend, 4 days of selling to get a low price finally low enough, markets push up, clean imbalance, markets start to explode somewhere here until it gets to the next place, and markets have now returned to the point of no return, which is really where our price left here. So I'm just going to draw a horizontal line somewhere there. All right, and then start to justify, and your back testing should look or sound something like this so you understand what on earth is going on. So I'm just going to justify these two buys here by kindly investigating what on earth is going on there now that I've got a clear horizontal line, etc. I'm going to move back to my normal candlesticks just to see. Right, so look, man, either way, my trading rules tell me that 1 or 2 touches is more than enough. The third time is not always, to your best interest, right? So this is how price has earmarked itself. Okay, cool. Again, I'm somewhere here, very, very small lot size, nothing big, right? And I'm riding the wave to the downside. If I was scared and that was a serious trade, I would look to take profit somewhere here. Short-term swing, right? Because where I sold was just at the beginning of April, somewhere slightly 4th or 5th, somewhere here. And I looked at the trading desk and on the first week of April, 5th or whatever, 4th, this was just a confirmation of the supply, because the trend long term is down. Anytime I see a valid supply to the downside, I take it on Euro Swiss franc. It makes sense, right? So that's why I sold. But it's not really the type of place. What we need to do at some point in these videos is also to talk about which areas of value are not guaranteed, but offer a high probability opportunity to ride the wave all the way. I'm talking all the way to positional areas, to positional trades. And this supply here is not an all the way supply, right? At some point, price will come back and break the supply. All right. Now, structure or leg phases, we can start to calculate. And you should ask yourself this. And this is how I used to do it like this when I was still learning, and I found myself doing it years later, right? If you really want a clarity on structure, just draw it. Take one of these silly arrows and draw it. See, okay, fine. Price made a lower high here. Okay, cool. Price made a lower low. Okay, price is back now. All right. Okay, I'm definitely now dealing with an uptrend. Okay, price is stopping now. Oh, price has broken structure and coming back down here. Price is now failing to go above these highs there. And now all you're waiting to see is this going to happen? We're going to get a change of character. We're going to get a continued break of structure. What on earth is going on? If you trust your eyes and you don't mechanically draw this stuff, you might miss it, right? So on the daily time frame, there's not much to tell you to do, because again, pulling myself out of my 90 days of silence to even announce this as a signal. And signal from where, right? I can't give signals yet until I can fully trust my analysis, given I've been away for the first financial quarter. So that's why, I took a small trade just for the fun of it here, right? So we need to see, right? These are PCPs. There's another supply here. There's a lot of cell structure support going on. We're going to have to see what price does. Number one, when it gets here on this white trend line. Number two, when it gets here on this horizontal line, if it does not bounce from this white trend line and it makes it all the way down there, will it do this, or then will price start to seek out lows? If we get that, then we have to look and wait for something that looks like that, which again would be very unfortunate to continue to make their way all the way up. So if markets rather did something like this, I really don't care that it breaks the trend or not, but if markets rather did something like this to me would be and guess for Euro Swiss franc, like Euro pound, it's just a waiting game. I think Cowboys will be Cowboys. They'll do whatever they want with this information. But Euro Swiss franc for me, I'll see you in May. I'll see you in June, sir. I'll see what's going on here, so that I have clarity. For break instruction, we're going to the downside now. That's fine. Let's do it, Banks. When I keep track of this, this is one of the other charts that I keep saying, or that I'll be mentioning. Right. Yesterday I told you guys gold is a definitely must. Go back to your COT and check out gold. So Euro Swiss franc, we're gonna also see how they're pushing this asset up or down. We're gonna have to look at the buy and sell orders to make a final decision. I hope this video helped you. 365. See you in the next one.